Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
During their series in Pittsburgh, the Diamondbacks had more trades than runs scored. They were shut out in consecutive games, and they are clearly sagging from all the trade deadline rumors that have been circulating throughout their clubhouse for weeks. But their performance over the weekend was beyond troubling because there is still over 1/3 of the season left. And while we all know what zombie football looks like, I'm not sure we've ever experienced 50-plus games of zombie baseball. It's also a bad look for the manager, Torey Lovullo, who has had a very rough season on the top step and in the interview room. He has painfully defended this team through thick and thin. He constantly tells us how proud he is of this group, and the latter has caused something of a disconnect because he is peddling sunshine to cover for an underachieving team and in the process enabling them to underachieve even further. Now, Lovullo is signed through 2026, which would be his 10th season in the Valley, and for years I have been his biggest fan and staunchest defender. But if this team doesn't show some real grit and fight down the stretch, with a roster diminished by the trade deadline, Lovullo's time in Arizona might be coming to an end. Because if ever a team needed more accountability, a stronger voice, and a stern leader, it's this one.
It's hard to go through what we're going through right now, right? It's 27 innings, scoring one run, or more than that, probably 29 innings, scoring one run, and we know that we're more capable than that. It's 13 strikeouts and one walk. We got to be able to control counts, get on base in a more dynamic way, and drive baseballs all over the baseball field. But we're in a little bit of a grind right now, and those were 2 or 3 examples there where I feel like if we'd scored some early runs, things might have been a little different. You only have a couple of opportunities against a quality pitcher like Skeens, and he did his job and we didn't.
Torey Lovullo, after yesterday's shutout loss at the hands of the Pittsburgh Pirates, their second consecutive shutout loss. The weekend started with a 1-0 Diamondbacks win in 11 innings over the Pirates on Friday night. Mm-hmm. It was just a slog all the way through offensively. And I know the air was thick in Pittsburgh. It was humid. It was gross. That's how Steve Berthium described the weather yesterday. Yep. It's not an excuse. The trade deadline being on people's minds, not an excuse.
No.
There's other players that are being rumored in trades around Major League Baseball that are performing just fine. Thank you very much. Look, your point on Torey Lovullo is well taken, and Torey's been a lightning rod for controversy with the Diamondbacks fan base for quite some time, and we always get you guys, whatever he says, you guys agree with. If you listen to the show, you know that that's not true. We've been obviously on some of the themes of the blast today. I think it's been strange how supportive Torey has been. Top to bottom this year. This is like the first year I can remember where there hasn't been at least like one visible blow up or something that's been talked about,
right? Where
he's just lost it on his team or had to have that closed door meeting. It just hasn't been talked about, and the level of pride he's had in this team, it's trying its best, but there was expectations on this team.
Yeah,
and I'll go back to something I go back to quite a bit, and it's embarrassing. It's a line from the movie Cocktail.
And what line would that be?
And the line is, you mentioned it in the blast, Torey Lovullo's under contract through 2026, 10 years. And when you look at what the Diamondbacks have done in 10 years, there's been some memorable moments. 2017 was great. The 2023 World Series run,
magical,
was great. Other than that, there hasn't been much.
No.
And the line is, everything ends badly or else it wouldn't end.
Yep. It's very true. And listen, I've been on record as saying this. There have been coaches and managers who have come into the Valley, and I like so much personally that I wish that they would never, ever lose their jobs. And it's a short list, but Mike D'Antoni was on that list. Dave McGinnis was on that list. Bruce Arians made that list. Maybe even Alvin Gentry at one point in time. Torey Lovullo was on that list. But the fact of the matter is there's been a lot of not accusations, but there have been sort of the effect of maybe too much coddling of this group. The excessive positivity, it's been over the top, even for Torey, because you expect some of it. But the reason why I've been vibing on that element, because it's been so ridiculous this year. And it's like after good games, he comes out and talks about how, well, this is the way we play every day. We bring it every day. And you're like, no, you don't. We're watching all these games.
I think it's almost a case of trying to speak it into existence.
Maybe.
Because
yeah,
I think it was the sage Jesse Morrison, a.k.a. Rick,
right?
Who brought it up on Wolf and Luke. I might be speaking out of school. I think that's what I heard last week. He brought up opening day against the Cubs and how weird that first weekend was. How we were all alarmed at the sloppy baseball that the Diamondbacks churned out early in the season, even though they were winning some games. They've never buttoned it up. We talked about it yesterday. Runners in scoring position, it comes and it goes. It's at an all-time low right now. 0 for 19 in a 3-game series against the Pirates. That's as low as it gets. But we mentioned the continuing issues at third base coach with players getting mixed up or getting weird signals. And even yesterday when Sean Larkin was clear in his communication to a runner in Gino Suarez, Gino wasn't looking at him. How do you do that as a player coming around third base for a team that can't score a run if you paid them?
Yeah, it's true.
The play where O'Neal Cruz scored from first base. Yes, he's really fast. When was the last time a player scored from first base on a single without a throw home?
Especially against a team that is supposed to be as buttoned up defensively as the Diamondbacks, especially with the team that prides itself on putting speedy outfielders in the lineup.
And Torey mentioned that too about playing confused at times, and he's used that phrase or a form of that phrase several times throughout the season. And that to me is pretty damning too on the manager, because the team and how they conduct itself on the field is a reflection of the managers, whether it's good or bad, and we've seen both.
Well, it's also a reflection of the accountability. If there's no fear of screwing up, that you're going to get chewed out or you're going to get benched or you're going to get
benched. That's a treat.
Yeah, right. Right. That's right.
That's a reward now.
Right. That's a
sorry.
What, you want a cookie? No. You're right. It is. So I do think that all of this, it's going to be a mandate against Torey Lovullo, especially if this team kind of zombies out of this season. You know what I mean? If we look at one win every 5 games from this point forward, post-trade deadline, yeah. I mean, they better start showing some Matt Ishbia grit, some Brian Gregory grit, Vinny.
To Vinny's runners in scoring position thing real quick, the Diamondbacks are 23rd in most runners left on base. The teams below them or worse are all playoff teams. It's so weird. Like, the teams have the runners on more often than not because they're good teams, but they can't get them in. So, like, the Cubs, the Brewers, the Padres, the Mariners, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, and the Phillies all leave more runners on scoring position than the Diamondbacks, and all those teams are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but the weird part about it is this stretch, and it wasn't even just this 3 games against Pittsburgh. The series against Houston, they couldn't do it either. And that was on the heels of hitting lights out with runners in scoring position in the St. Louis series. So just the inconsistency of all of it.
And yet this offense throughout the course of this season has shown the ability to be unstoppable at times.
Look, there's an argument to be made this is the worst stretch of offense in this franchise's history. The only other 3-game stretch, they've never been shut out 3 times in a row, ever. So that's something to look for tonight, maybe. The only other 3-game stretch that was worse than this in terms of overall production came in 2022, June 4th, 5th, and 6th. 2 games at Pittsburgh and at Cincinnati. They lost 2-1, 3-0, 7-0 in that stretch. And they had 10 total hits over 3 games and went 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. So at least they're getting runners into scoring position. Well, they couldn't say that about that stretch. This is historically bad.
Yeah. And look, the fact that they couldn't score a single run in regulation. Is regulation even a term in baseball?
It is now.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.